Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be reviewing one of the films that I watched recently. I've been on a roll with some of these older films, and the one that I watched was Ben-Hur. Now, this is a classic historical drama. Ben-Hur revolves around a story of Judah Ben-Hur, which is a remake of another silent film of 1925, and this one stars Charlton Heston, and he is the actor from Planet of the Apes, as some of you already know. He did this later in his career, not too later, but after Ben-Hur. And this movie is set in 26 AD. It's about a wealthy prince and merchant in Jerusalem, and he is very loyal and devoted to his faith and believes in the freedom of the Jewish people. Now, his friend, the Roman citizen Messala, is in Jerusalem, and he's a very patriotic Roman and believes in the glory of Rome and its imperial power. And that's where Judah and Messala seem to clash, because there is tension in the difference of their causes. Now, Messala, he becomes angry with Ben-Hur, Judah Ben-Hur, and then he basically stabs him in the back and throws him into a slave trade. And Judah Ben-Hur swears revenge. So the entire movie is revolved around Judah Ben-Hur overcoming all these obstacles, almost nearing his death in some of the scenes, but eventually he has to make his way back to Rome and avenge himself and the fact that Messala has betrayed him, his family, in Jerusalem. It's a very, very interesting movie. This movie uh, portrays Jesus in the film as well. You don't see his face in the film, but he does encounter Jesus in one scene where he's in the desert and Jesus gives him water. Eventually, he gets prosecuted, and everybody knows the faith he suffers, unfortunately, but he ventures throughout the entire movie and finally makes it to Rome. In the scene, we got to see one of the most famous scenes of all, which is the chariot scene where they race at the end of the film, and that's where he finally overcomes his nemesis and you know defeats him. But without spoiling too much of the film, overall, this movie is a cinematic just masterpiece. I've seen it a couple of times. It's a very, very lengthy film. It was released again in 1959 on November the 18th. It's 212 minutes, and their budget, adjusted to inflation, obviously, according to 2017, was 15.2 million, and they were the second grossing film of all time at $146.9 million. So they did really, really well for the amount of money that they invested in it. And again, this is one of my favorite films. I enjoyed it a lot. It's just the whole set design, the story, everything. It's got scenes that are very slow and dramatic to scenes that are very upbeat. At the end, having you at the edge of your seat, a lot of nail biters, but at the end of the day, we get to see what the audience wants, and that's to see the actual protagonist win. And again, without spoiling the film, he does make it to his destination, but the overall obstacles that he has to encounter are actually truly dramatic. So that's why I would rate this film an 8 out of 10. I strongly urge people that haven't seen the film to go out and see it. But if you have seen it, tell us what your thoughts are. Comment below, subscribe if you like what you're hearing. And if you have any additions to what you want to add to the review, you can mention below. If you didn't like it, also let us know what we could improve on. But I will leave it at that. Again, definitely go out there and see this film. It's one of the best films of the 50s, in my opinion. I'll leave it at that again, and bye for now.